Ladies and gentlemen, SideStrafe back with what is this? There's nobody over there, but let's pretend that there is for the sake of production value. I'll also pretend that there's an audience willing to listen to anything that I have to say. Now that I've done that, hello, it's 2024, and I want to thank everybody so very much throughout the years for watching my content. And for those of you that still do, I live stream on Twitch uh, mostly every day, if not every other day, or when I have the time. And sometimes somebody will pop in and say, "Hey, you know what? I still watch some of your old YouTube videos for nostalgia's sake." I'm like, "Wow, really? Thank you. I appreciate that." And it's funny to think the amount of reach that this content or the videos on the channel have had throughout the years. And sometimes I miss it, and I'll often reminisce and discuss the wild west of YouTube with my buddy Rui, who still runs his channel, uh, however, far more successfully than I do. With that, again, thank you for hanging out, listening, watching, enjoying the content throughout the years. It really does mean a lot. But yeah, I kind of felt like creating a vlog of sorts. I set up this camera as a web camera on Twitch, and it took me a while to do that. So I only recently started experimenting with it. It doesn't necessarily make a huge difference, but I've grown accustomed to using it. I see where it has its advantages, and I think, hey, it's set up here, got a nice little backdrop. Why not? Let's go for it. The lighting is Philips Hue. Today, it's this color. Tomorrow, who knows what it'll be? We'll see. Maybe I can just change it depending on the mood or the subject. But vlog, fireside, strafe, chat? Maybe. I apologize ahead of time. There is no planning. Probably not going to edit this either because, well, I don't want to. But all kidding aside, again, thanks for hanging out. But yeah, the old days. I think I started the channel in 2011, around there. I remember getting out of art school. I was at an art school 2010, around there. It was supposed to be a 4-year game art design bachelor's of fine arts degree, but I had only stayed a year because it turned out they wanted us to be well rounded. They wanted us to learn everything: drawing, 3D modeling, animation, texturing, just everything. And I wasn't really into the 3D stuff. I wanted more of the 2D. They didn't have enough of the classes, so I bailed. It was also a really expensive school. So I was like, yeah, no thanks. Um, so I had a lot of free time on my hands after the fact. And I thought, well, what can I do? And I was beta testing a sci-fi MMO called Earthrise, which I don't think was that successful. I don't think it exists. It might have been bought out, and I don't know. Anyway, again, no research done for this episode. But I remember it was Earthrise, and I wanted a way to critique the game, to give feedback to the developers beyond a forum post. Because you know how forum posting goes. You post something, it gets buried, everybody ignores it. But what if I had a post that could draw more attention to it through more exciting content? What if I recorded the gameplay footage? Or what if I created gameplay footage? How could I do that? What if I recorded commentary as well? How can I do that? Well, I have this cheap $20 Logitech headset. I think it was built for Skype chatting, and I barely used it, maybe used it for like Ventrilo voice comms or something. And I learned how to use Fraps, which was the only screen capture software at the time that could record the quality that I wanted. But I remember it was a severe hit on system resources, CPU, and mechanical hard drive, which is all we had at the time. I don't think SSDs were, I don't know if they existed or if they were just too expensive at the time, but they were rare. I didn't have one. I still had like a mechanical 10,000 RPM Velociraptor drive, which is as fast as you could get at the time. And you'd lose 10 to 15 FPS just by hitting record on Fraps because of how resource heavy it was. GPUs weren't designed for recording. There was no shadow play, OBS, none of that. So we had to figure these things out. YouTube wasn't new, but it was still somewhat in its infancy. Most videos were 720p. 1080p was just becoming a little bit more popular. And I remember doing whatever I could to create 1080p content. 60 FPS content did not exist. It was 30 max. Uh, I think this video is probably going to just be a 24p, camera capture. But yeah, I remember the first time 60 FPS came out, and I was super excited. Beyond that, I remember just being able to record longer than 15-minute videos on YouTube, because before you could get partnership, the video limitation was 15 minutes. It was a bonus if you were a partner. Oh, look, you can record beyond 15, which is funny now because these days short form content is popular. If you record something that's longer than 5 minutes, sometimes people won't even click on it because attention spans are at an all-time low, it seems. Nowadays it's all about the shorts, the vertical shorts, the TikTok videos, the Instagram reels or stories. I'm not sure what they're called. I'll probably have to try to figure that out at some point. Um, but yeah, it's funny how we've sort of gone in reverse. People tell me sometimes that they don't even watch movies anymore. They're just on Twitch and YouTube. And it's like, wow, really? I mean, interesting time to be alive, I guess. But so you have to sort of conform to those things. You have to adapt and overcome. And I think that's partially why I abandoned the channel for so long. I had trouble adapting to the changes in content creation. There's so much more that we could get into about why I created the channel. A lot of it had to do with wanting to critique games, but much of it was just simply down to the fact that I love sharing my hobbies. Years ago, and even sometimes these days, you have people come over and you're like, "Hey, you got to check out this new game I got." "Oh, what game?" "Yeah, just come over, check it out. We'll hang out, we'll get some food, whatever." You'd order a pizza and you'd play games together, and, "Oh, check out these graphics." And I always remember it being console games specifically because it was before the internet was, a thing, and your friends would just come over and check out the latest and greatest game, and you'd get so excited to share the game that you just bought, almost as if you were the developer. You're so excited to share the features and the graphics and the sounds and the stories and the characters and everything, just like you made it yourself. You're so proud of it. You didn't make it, you just bought it, but that's how excited you were. And I think the YouTube channel was an extension of all of those things. It took a lot of what I learned from art school in terms of cinematography and quality and video quality, image quality, picture, sound, some of these little elements that I picked up from school, and I brought them into the channel. The entertainment with standards thing came from just trying to adhere towards industry standards, Hollywood standards, TV standards, radio standards, trying to make sure that things were as good as they could potentially be with what we had available, with what tools we had available to us through the YouTube systems. But gosh, and I know I'm getting sidetracked here. Again, this is just me. Typically, always had a wandering mind, so bear with me. But it was an exciting time, but again, as I mentioned, it was like the Wild West. We never really knew the secrets of YouTube. We didn't know how to get a partnered channel. I didn't even know there was money involved in YouTube when I started. Again, I just wanted to critique a beta test at the time. But it grew into wanting to share with people like you, the same way that I would invite friends over to check out games. This was my way of reaching a global audience and sharing games almost as if I had made them myself, being proud to showcase them in a way that maybe the developers weren't themselves. And it was just a lot of fun to do that, right? Because I think in a way, content on Twitch and YouTube and various other platforms is a way, especially these days, to hang out with people. Especially during the COVID pandemic, it was difficult to get out and hang out with people, and I think we were far more reliant upon live streams and social media content and YouTube content and whatnot, Facebook and whatever other people use for sharing. We're far more reliant on it when we can't physically be with our friends and family, and so this has always been a nice way to do that. And running the channel over a decade, It turned into a little bit more. It kind of went into creating guides and tutorials for things like World of Tanks. First impressions, obviously, the whole DayZ thing put the channel on the map. Still, I think the top viewed video on the channel. It was just the right time and place, I guess. I still remember feeling like I was email bombed with subscription notifications when I still had them on and not realizing what had happened. The magnitude of the situation, if you will. Um, but yeah, over time, I think I found it difficult to compete. There were a lot of people coming onto the platform. Partnerships were opened up, which I think is for the best. It's allowed a lot of people to showcase their talents and abilities as creatives in this world when it can be difficult. We live in a world where if you're not well connected, if you don't know somebody or if you're not related to somebody, it can be very difficult to get an opportunity in life. And so I think the nice thing about YouTube opening up partnerships is the fact that anybody can make anything they want and showcase their abilities as an actor or creator of some sort. Hey, that's a great thing. But again, it made things challenging. The algorithm for YouTube was becoming further developed. You had to strategize and create content that was unique, original, engaging. You had to upload your videos a certain day of the week, a certain time of the day. You had to post on social media. Your thumbnail has to have text in it and a picture of your face looking goofy and like you're overreacting to something, even though you're dead inside and you don't overreact to things in the same way that most people do. But your titles had to have clickbaity text and things in it. Top 5 things you need to know. Not that I have anything against those things. Some of them are good, but it's really easy to sound like you know what you're talking about on the internet, right? Let's face it. Um, I had trouble adapting to it. The algorithm, the changes, the tags, the titles, the thumbnails. I really did. And there were other things in life that cropped up that kind of got in the way of me wanting to create YouTube content. So things started to die down for me. And I had moved over to live streaming a bit, as well as focusing on the voiceover career and getting more into sound art, sound design, mixing, mastering, Foley, field recording. Just I found that I'm very creative and passionate about sound and voice acting. And I like mixing. I like creating demo reels. I like creating sonic stories, if you will. It's just a lot of fun to me, and I heavily admire the sound artists of the world. People creating linear post production sound in film, and those dealing more dynamically with audio in games. So I do have another YouTube channel that's more of a personal YouTube channel for sound art and voice acting that I might want to do something similar, like just a vlog where I talk about things, maybe even react to movie trailers, animated films, and things of that nature, talk about the sound design, post production, recording, mixing, things of that nature. Sharecasing my sharecasing. That's maybe that works too. Showcasing my demos and just talking about the voice acting. Maybe take the camera into the booth, aka walk-in closet, for voiceover stuff, the place that I used to get work done. But but yeah, just it did feel like the Wild West. We were trying to get a feel for what content was and how to create it and share it. I guess I never really wanted it to be work though, and it started to feel like work, and it was hard to associate playing video games with an actual day job because it was supposed to be the thing that we come home to, the thing that we use to get away from work drama, home drama, family drama, life drama, right? Like you want it, you walk outside the front door, you turn on the news, and there it is. And so, video games and YouTube content, it's supposed to be an escape from reality to an extent, right? Which is why I've always believed that entertainment is important for us, whether it's comedy or a movie or a game. Like I think these things are incredibly important and you really shouldn't strive to get away from them, right? Whoever said put away childish things is an idiot. And I heavily disagree with that. I think if anything, especially for parents, I'm not a parent, but I would think that being able to relate to the things that your kids can relate to is helpful in growing up, um, in them growing up and you growing with them as a parent and continuing to grow as an adult, right? I think that these things are mentally healthy, right? And so I think my sharing of the content is just another way to express that. But maybe we can do it this way. Maybe I can discuss things more since things are just set up and all I have to do is hit the record button. Um, I think this is a way to breathe some life back into this channel, perhaps. And I'm kind of excited for the prospects. It's something I've really wanted to do for a very long time, but I've just, I think, struggled with doing it. I am shy. I'm a very shy person, incredibly, horribly shy as a child. Got a little bit better with age, especially when I was in that art school and kind of getting more in front of people, especially on those critique days. And so, just being on camera is a struggle for me, especially with the anxieties that follow. But overall, let's give it a shot. Let's see where it goes. I can use it to talk about video games and movies and just entertainment in general. Um, as far as live streaming, again, I still do it on Twitch, twitch.tv/SideStrafe, as I may have already mentioned. I'll have that linked in the description below if you ever want to pop by, say hello. You can do that. There is live streaming on YouTube. I heard that recently you can dual stream on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but that sounds a bit hectic with dual chats. So I don't know that that's in the cards, but never say never, as they say. Um, we'll see. But for now, perhaps vlogs like this. What do you guys think? I've been told that more often than not, people listen to my videos more than watch them anyway. And if anything, I think this is a great reason to not want to stare at my video because I'm forcing you to hide it because I've got the face for radio. It's best that you just not look at this anyway. So I'll just put something probably over here. No, I won't because I don't want to edit this. But it's what we've got. It's what I was born with. So you'll have to put up with it for now, I guess. Anyway, I think I'm done here. I think what is it? Oh, 17. I don't know how many minutes it's been. It depends on how many takes I had to get through to get to this point. But yeah, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so very much for joining me. Happy New Year again. And hopefully I'll see you on the next one.